Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Math Puzzle Crash Course. We have another simple problem here. It's a mixed operations problem. It mixes addition, multiplication, and subtraction. And the problem is 3 plus 8 times 2 minus 6 equals what? If you'd like to, you can pause the video here, and we'll come back and work this one out together if you're not sure. All right. So first of all, what I want to mention, if you remember your early education, you should have been taught. Well, everyone's been taught this, but not everyone remembers. But multiplication has precedence over addition and subtraction, and I want to emphasize here that you do not need parentheses, you do not need brackets to give multiplication precedence over addition and subtraction. That's one of the things I see a lot of people try to say. Well, there's no parentheses, there's no brackets, so you just solve left to right. And that's not true. No one's ever been taught that. You might have been taught to go ahead and put brackets or parentheses around the multiplication, but it doesn't give multiplication any higher priority by doing that. Um, Remember, multiplication already has precedence since it's repeated addition. That's really what multiplication is. It is repeated addition, meaning it's just a shorthand way of writing a lot of addition. So you do need to solve that first. So remembering that, you actually solve the 8 times 2 first because multiplication has precedence over addition and subtraction. That's part of what's called the order of operations. So you would have 8 times 2 is 16. 3 plus 16 is 19. 19 minus 6 is 13. So the correct answer to this problem is 13. Now, as I mentioned before, multiplication is nothing more than repeated addition. So I could replace the 8 times 2. It's much easier to write 8 times 2 than it is to write 2 plus 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 2. I mean, what would you rather write? I would rather write 8 times 2. But 8 times 2 is the same as adding 8 twos. It's the same as adding 2 8 times. And so if you want to, you can replace that multiplication with the equivalent addition here, and you're still going to get the correct answer of 13. So I know there's a lot of people out there who still believe that you just solve left to right, and you ignore the order of operations. And I hear people say all the time, well, if they meant the multiplication to be done first, they would have written it first. But we don't know what this problem represents. It could be representing things that happen on different days of the week. We don't know. It doesn't matter how it's written out. What matters is that you follow the correct order of operations. And I'll keep this in mind too, guys. Depending on what type of calculator you're using, you need to understand how that calculator works. These are screenshots from a calculator on a Windows computer. Your standard mode calculator over here on the right, it works in what's called immediate execution mode, meaning that as you type in the numbers, it's immediately executing those as if you were hitting the equal sign. So it's basically acting like, if you were trying to enter that problem, I don't have the video of it, but it would basically be like typing 3 plus 8 equals. Well, 3 plus 8 equals 11, right? And then it would take 11 times 2. 11 times 2 is 22. And then it's going to say 22 minus 6 equals, and you can see that right here. The last step was 20, it calculated 22 because it's basically immediately executing every operation as you enter it. A lot of people aren't aware that some calculators act that way. It doesn't mean that 16 is the correct answer. 16 is not the correct answer. If you're using a calculator in standard mode, or if you're using a calculator from the dollar store, that doesn't handle multiple operations and operates in the same way, then when you enter it into the calculator, you would need to do the you would need to enter the 8 times 2 first, and then do the addition and subtraction, and then you would get the correct answer of 13. Now, if you take that calculator on a Windows computer, put it into scientific mode, then it works in expression mode. And what I mean by expression mode is that you can enter the entire expression, just as I did here, 3 plus 8 times 2 minus 6. And then it does not do the equals until you press the equals key on the calculator. The big difference is that standard mode doesn't care. It's assuming that you want to add 3 plus 8, and then it's assuming that you want to multiply 11 by 2, and then it's assuming you want to subtract 6 from 22. Even though you're entering it 3 plus 8 times 2 minus 6 equals, this a type of calculator is not able to handle that entire expression. So I recommend if you're using a Windows computer, put it into scientific mode. Check what type of calculator you're using. If you're using like a cell phone calculator, an Android calculator, I'm sure it's the same on an iPhone as well. Those are already set up. They will work in expression mode. You'll get the correct answer of 13. Um, Here's an example of an online calculator. This is powered by Math Solver. And yeah, you can enter the entire expression in 3 plus 8 times 2 minus 6, and it equals 13. Big surprise. So again, because I see this come up a lot where people say, well, Mike, I thought it was this, but then I entered it in my calculator and it told me it was 16, so I must be right. No, it's a situation where some people, actually, frankly, a lot of people don't really understand how calculators work. They don't understand the different input methods. I hope the video has been helpful. I went on quite a bit about calculators, but it's kind of a big topic that comes up in these discussions where people argue back and forth over calculators. I've got a whole video that goes over calculators and how they operate, so I'm not going to go into that any further here. But I hope the video has been helpful. If it has, please consider liking, sharing, subscribing. We're trying to push forward to get 1,000 subscribers if possible. I'd like to grow this channel and keep bringing up some new topics and some better quality videos and so on. And please feel free to leave comments in the channel. I'd like to hear what you're looking for here. And I hope to see everybody in the next video. Have a great day.